Today we're diving into a topic that might challenge everything you've been taught about teaching language arts. Hey there, homeschool moms. I'm Rebecca, and welcome to my homeschool village, where we make homeschooling simple, stress-free, and full of joy. Here, we share real solutions for busy moms, engaging resources, time-saving hacks, and a supportive community to help you homeschool with confidence. Let's build this village together. Let's talk about why it's actually beneficial to wait until your child is at least 12 years of age or older to start teaching formal grammar and syntax. Sound controversial? Well, stick with me for the next few minutes and I'll explain. First and most important step in language development is falling in love with stories, not reading, stories, so that when kids immerse themselves in books, they develop a natural sense for language, how sentences flow, how characters interact, and how ideas connect. Stories spark imagination and curiosity, which are essential for developing a lifelong love of learning. 20 years ago, I lived for 18 months in Bogota, Colombia. I learned to speak Spanish quickly because I was surrounded by the language. But what truly helped me appreciate the depth of Spanish was the stories I heard from the locals. It wasn't about grammar rules, it was about connecting through language. The same applies for our kids. Before teaching them grammar, let them fall in love with reading. Let them explore tales of adventure, friendship, and discovery. Build their vocabulary and understanding naturally through stories. Here's the thing. Kids learn language by immersion, not by dissecting sentences. Think about how your child learned to speak. Did you start by teaching them subject-verb agreement? Of course not. They picked up words and sentences just by listening and interacting. Research shows that children's brains are wired to absorb language through natural usage. Forcing grammar rules too early interrupts this organic process and can even make learning language feel like a chore. Yes, I know they do this in public school. There's a reason public school doesn't work. The truth is, until about age 12, kids' brains aren't fully ready to grasp abstract concepts like syntax and grammatical structure. Once your kids are familiar with stories and have developed a love for reading, you can introduce copywork. Now, this comes at different ages for different children. You'll know because they can write out their letters, they can write out full sentences, then they get into copywork. Copywork is a fantastic way for kids to internalize good writing without the pressure of creating something original. Give them passages from great literature, Bible, or even their favorite books to copy by hand. This practice helps build vocabulary, grammar sense, and handwriting skills naturally. Plus, it's a low-pressure way to introduce structure. Instead of focusing on rules, kids get to see how sentences are constructed and how words flow together. As your child grows, transition from copywork to journaling. Encourage them to write daily. But here's the secret. Promise not to read their journal unless they want to share. This allows them to write freely and express themselves without fear of judgment. I did this to my child, Araya. She read at a late age of 10. She hated writing up to the age of 12, and at 14, her handwriting was still atrocious. But at the age of 12, we agreed that she would write in her journal on a daily basis. She would date it. I would just see that it was done, and I promised never to read it. Years later, she did bring it back to me and show me what she had written. And sometimes it was just, I am so mad at mom for making me write this right now. She was required to write 1 page a day. She is truly my perfect example because when we gave her the freedom to write in her own time and in her own way, she developed a love for storytelling. Today at 21, she's writing chapter books, creating beautiful imaginative stories, and dreams of being a writer. The key is to foster creativity and self-expression first. The technical skills will follow. 20 years ago when I started homeschooling, I was doing a co-op with a homeschool mom who had homeschooled 6 children and she was on her very last. She told me that all of her children had aced all writing courses in college, even though she had never ever taught grammar or syntax. What was her secret? She said she let them read anything they wanted and the grammar and the syntax came naturally to her. The brain at age 12, a child's brain, is more developed and ready to handle abstract thinking. This is when they can really understand the why behind grammar rules, not just memorize them. When grammar is introduced later, kids pick it up faster and with a greater retention because they're developmentally ready. Plus, they're less likely to develop negative feelings toward language arts because they've spent years enjoying the reading and the writing without worrying about rules. I've met countless homeschoolers, countless homeschool moms who followed this approach and seen amazing results. Their kids didn't touch a grammar workbook until middle school, but went on to excel in high school writing, college, and so far beyond. Why? Because they loved language and had a solid foundation to build on. Even professional linguists and educators support this delayed approach. The key is understanding that grammar is the polish, not the paint. You can't polish something that isn't built yet. I know it can feel scary to let go of those grammar worksheets that all the public schoolers are doing, especially in those early years. But if you're worried about keeping up those public school standards, don't. Remember, homeschooling allows us to tailor learning to what truly works for our kids. Trust the process and give your kids the time they need to develop naturally. So Mom, let me reassure you, waiting to teach grammar and syntax until your child is 12 or older isn't just okay, it's often better. Focus on reading, communication, and creativity first. Use tools like copywork and journal writing to build a love of language. The rest will come naturally. If this approach resonates with you, leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts or experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more homeschooling tips and encouragement. We are all in this together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy homeschooling.